All right, market update. I'm going to start with a few requested stocks. So BABA, um, I don't really like the way it looks to me because you get this big move up, straight up, and now you're just getting this chop sideways, and it almost looks like a falling wedge to me. It kind of looks like let's see where this would take it. This has broken out if you draw the parallel line here, but it hasn't broken the high yet. So this could be like this. Down here for an E wave. However, you have gap fills here at 93, 96, 117. Is it possible it comes up here? Yeah, but I don't think that this is what you want to see for the breakout yet because you're getting a really choppy sideways move. I think you're going to need one more move down before it can actually take off. And that's just kind of what I've been talking about with the overall market anyway. So I think this is some kind of falling wedge. I tried to turn it into like an ABC move where this was A, we're working on B, C like that. This would look like A, B, C like that. Is it possible? Maybe, but it would only go up here to, you can maybe see 93 bucks, 94 bucks, something like that. So I don't think that there's that much upside short term in this unless I'm completely wrong on the market. And you can see here it's almost like a head and shoulders move right here. If it breaks above this, it's not, but you can see here, kind of, it's a little bit wacky, but I wouldn't be surprised if you come down here to the very bottom and maybe you don't break the low, but you could. So I know it's kind of a crazy move down. Maybe you only come down here to like 70 bucks. Let's look at where there's gaps down below. There's probably some gaps. And there actually is no gaps. So that's a good thing to the downside. There could be gaps below this, though. Let's see if there's any gaps below. Didn't this double bottom? I think it's double bottomed. Yeah, this double bottom, basically. So there are no gaps, but it's just like it's a falling wedge or something like that. So I don't think that this is ready to break out yet, unfortunately. And the overall market's probably going to correct at least one more time, so I would expect BABA to come correct as well. But it's not like one of those stocks that I'm like, you need to sell. It's undervalued. Maybe add down here. Add some shares. And if you're doing options, obviously probably sell up here. It's a pretty nice move. That's a 20% move since July 1st. So not really that much to say about it other than the fact that this is probably a first wave and you're in some kind of corrective move. It's actually somewhat similar to SoFi. It's actually very similar to SoFi. You got some falling wedge like that. So that's my thoughts on BABA. Not really bullish on it because I don't think it's ready to break out yet. If I'm wrong, then I'd probably be looking for something up in here in the 90s. Another one was Palantir. And Palantir, I don't really have that much to say about it either. It's chopping higher. There's a gap down here at like 25 bucks. There's a gap at 17 bucks. I think if we get a market correction, you'll probably see 25 bucks. A big correction, maybe 17, but that's a pretty big drop. Then again, this is pretty overextended. This has been going up for a long time now. You can see here, It's at 3 standard deviations on the weekly. So it probably needs to cool off, but I would say 25 bucks if it does. It's in a weekly supply zone right here. So I think it's probably going to cool off if the market corrects. 25 bucks would be where I'd buy it. They're probably not going to let that drop anymore. There's too much demand for the stock. And so, yeah, I'd be buying at 25 bucks. Lunar, I sold today. Not because I don't think it's going to go higher. It's just a trade for me. And it hit my zone. So I sold at 9.25. And I think there's a very good chance you're going to see up here to 40 bucks eventually, but a pullback fill this gap here at 5.75. Maybe this one down here at 4.45. Because I mean, it was on August 2nd, it was at 3 bucks. It's up 200% in the last month. So regardless of how good the news is, it's still going to pull back. Let's go over the indexes. So QQQ made a new high today, above this, I mean. And so you look on the standard deviations, we're kind of in the middle here. I don't think it's going to matter that much if we get a big move down. And I'm leaning towards that big move down. I'm probably 80% sure we're going to get a move down here to at least 414 over the next couple of months, because this looks like an impulse move to me. I guess you could look at it as ABC as well, but this move right here is pretty weak when you consider if this is going to be a third wave. It's super weak. Like 448, it's a nice move, but we're not really like blasting off vertically. It could keep on going. That's why I'm saying 20% chance it continues to go higher. But if you look at the timing of this, it took 16 days, and guess where 16 days is again? On the 22nd, which is Sunday. And if you zoom in here, this is 5 waves. So I do think that tomorrow is going to be bullish. I don't know what futures are doing. They're down a little bit. You have a gap at 493. I think it's going to be another 2% day, potentially tomorrow. It could start red and then go up, or maybe it goes into early next week. But you can see here, this is pretty weak overall. If it was an impulse move, like a big impulse move for a wave 3, I would look for something like this. But we're kind of like not very impulsive here. And it broke the high, so it can't be a wave 1 down. This looks like an impulse move. This was probably actually a corrective move. I had it as 5 waves, but it's probably actually a corrective move. So this is probably the B wave, and this is a C wave. These are all equal in time length. It's longer than this. Everything is setting up for a correction. So my target would be anywhere from 415, gap fill at 407, or the 1.61 fib here at 380. So it's very interesting because when I go over SPY, I'll show you. There's a gap here at 407 on QQQ. Let's go to SPY now. Oh, first of all, if this is going to end up being a impulse move, then it's got to go like this. But again, too, I thought this was the top. Wave 5 was right here. So I think this could only be ABC. So that means I don't think that QQQ can go past, on this move, can't go past 528. So if it continues to go higher here, it goes all the way to 529 by October 11th, which would be pretty outrageous. Let's see. Or I guess it could be 529 by right after the election, and we get the correction later. Then that's going to be one crazy move. I would probably look at it like this, actually. But I don't think that's going to happen again because the timing of all these. that would make this C wave extra long in time length. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm still very, very confident that this is going to happen, but we'll see. Gap fill down at 407. Let's go over SPY now. SPY, same thing. Could this be a third wave? Sure, but this only came down to the 0.38 fib. We've also almost made 5 waves here. This is obviously going to be an expanded flat if it does happen now. But I noticed that there's a gap on SPY as well, right below the August lows at 505. So similar to QQQ, a gap right below. So if this is going to come down, let's say it goes to 575, it's going to look like this, basically. Maybe into the election. So on the daily standard deviation, it looks pretty crazy. Let's look on the weekly and see if that even makes sense. So on the weekly, you can see it makes sense for it to happen like this. Because we would just be at 1.5 or negative 1.5 standard deviations, back into weekly demand, and then it has more room. Because right now, look where we're at. On the weekly, if this is a second wave and a third wave, that's going to take a third wave up here to 6,000, pull back, and then the fifth wave is going to be up here at like 4 or 5 standard deviations. Possible, but why not come down here and then you have more room? Now you can go like this and really pump it higher. So I'm thinking a correction is in the books over the next, should start in the next week or so. 80% sure, 20% if I'm wrong, I'll just be scalping and be very cautious. But that's my thoughts on SPY and QQQ. And then if we look at Microsoft, so still right around that same area that I sold at into supply. You have this move down. Looks very likely for that. It looks pretty obvious to me. So maybe I'll be wrong and it'll end up just keep on going up, because usually the market doesn't give away that easy of moves. But I think a lot of people are thinking that we're going to go like this and just continue to go up. So we'll see what happens. Microsoft into supply. Amazon hit 190. I said max 192 on this one. This gap fill here at 192. Meta hit all-time highs today. Meta hit all-time highs today. Let's zoom in here and see if it broke that parallel line. It did break that. So, but Meta, this is a B wave. You can just look at it. It's pretty obvious it's a B wave. It goes up, big correction in August, and then we get this move up. The max right here, and it's going right to it, is right around 586. Whoops. 586. I don't know why that's not working. So maybe this goes up here to like 570. And then it ends up being, I think this is probably going to end up being the same thing, an expanded flat. And you're going to need to move all the way down here to 400, but probably not. You're probably going to get something down here. That's too far. 400 is a 30% correction. I think you're going to get maybe back down here to like 470 on Meta. And then that sets the stage for this being wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. NVIDIA, got to go over that. So NVIDIA might be the one they pump tomorrow based on the fact that it still has this gap at 125. Let's zoom in here. And yeah, it got this move up here. So maybe it comes down a little bit in the morning and then pumps. Let's see where the 5 waves would take it. So yeah, 123, pullback, 125, gap fill. And then that would be the top. So on NVIDIA, this would be very strange. I think that on NVIDIA, this is probably going to be potentially a second wave. Kind of hard to say. But maybe we just get something like this on NVIDIA. Maybe it ends up being a triangle. I'm trying to think, that would be 125 to 110. That's only like a 10% correction. Or this is a B wave. This is very possible too. A, B, and we get a C wave down here to 98 bucks. That would be a 20% correction. And then this ends up being A, B, and then C later, like that. So I think that this can come back to 98 bucks. I don't think it's going to make new lows. It could. It could make new lows because this is a higher, a lower high. So yeah, it could end up going like this, I guess, and then going up after that. Those are the 2 patterns I'm watching, I guess. ABC down to lower lows of the August, or ABC to like 98 bucks, and then we go up higher. And the dollar, last thing I'm going to go over. The dollar. So 162. So if this is the third wave, this was A. This looks like B to me. A, B. So this has got to be A, B, C, like that. This might, I don't know, maybe the 4th wave ended right here. This might be going down lower to finish off this B wave. 99 to 100 to finish it off maybe tomorrow, potentially. And then look at the timing of this perfectly for the market correction that I have. 104 to 106, and probably pretty quickly. So that kind of means, something's going to happen. What's going to happen that's going to make everybody get into cash? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what would cause that. I'm 80% sure that we're going to see a major correction here in the next week or so, starting in the next week, and it should last into November. And then it'll probably start like recovering in November, and it'll probably be like kind of up and down November and December. So that's all I got for today. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. I'm probably going to add a premium membership. I have an advanced and a basic one. If you want to support the channel, just do the basic one. The advanced one, you get like some charts where I give you all the levels sent to your email, a video for whatever stock you want me to do, and email support if you want to ask me questions. The premium one, maybe at some point I'll do like a Discord, but I think the premium one would include like a Zoom call. You can ask me questions about stocks. But I think that I'm going to do like a course and make like a website and just do like a one-time fee for a course, just because I don't really want to do Zoom calls where you're just asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do that? You know, I want to just be like kind of guiding you, but like on individual stocks and maybe answering some questions. But I think it'd be better if I just did like a long course and it was like a one-time fee for all of the things that I know. And You learn it all. You can look back on it rather than just having like 2 Zoom calls and me explaining everything to everybody over and over. So I think that's the best way to give knowledge away. But I think that if you want like stock updates, like recurring stock updates, that can be like in the premium membership, like Zoom calls or whatever, if people want that. So I'm working on it. I mean, the course will probably take a while because it's probably going to be very long. I'll probably do it very in depth, and I'll let you know when that comes about. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, or if you're more interested in the premium membership or whatnot. And if you don't want any of those stuff and you want to support the channel, then you can donate on the coffee, buy me a coffee, or you can just sign up for the basic membership, which is like $3 a month or something like that. So that's it for this video. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next video.